This is the Mack G Show.
Welcome to episode 13 of the Mack G Show. We are now in 2025.
Yep.
We are still alive. It's been a couple weeks, but I think you and I both needed that, right? Time spent with the family.
No, me, I wanted to be on every week, and you wouldn't let me.
And then as part of that, our families got together on Christmas Eve. That was awesome.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Right? Kids got along really well.
Yep, we had a good time.
We'll do that again soon. And so today's episode is going to be primarily talking about the playoffs, right? The regular
NFL?
The NFL. Regular
Nice.
NFL season is over. This is the first time we're recording not on the weekend. We're recording on a Tuesday night. We'll edit tomorrow. We'll release it on Thursday. Playoffs start on Saturday. So if we make any predictions, we'll know in 2 days whether they were right or wrong, right? Okay. We know it's timely, but you know what? We like football. We wanted to have this edition, right? So we'll talk about some of the teams that didn't make it and some of the storylines there, and then we'll also talk about the teams that did make it and maybe make some predictions and,
coaching changes.
Yes, big time. And, full disclosure, we live in New England. Obviously, the Patriots are our team, but I think they're a storyline that a lot of people are looking at right now.
You know who my team is right now that the Patriots are out?
Who?
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Even though they stole out
not
a chance at
not the
first
Lions.
round pick. I mean, our first pick in the draft.
Not the Lions?
No, I like Buffalo. I like Josh Allen.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay, got it. But before we get into that, as we usually do, we share some stories about life, right? So, again, we comment on the fact that we had a blast at Christmas Eve. That was awesome.
Well, let me start with, I'll just say that I had a low-key, couple of weeks only because I had to work. We had my family, we had COVID and sickness going through, so I did some work and we were pretty local and low-key. So why don't you tell us what you did? Because yours was a lot more fun.
Yeah, so my youngest son's birthday is on the 28th. I found out, I think at the start of December, that my wife was surprising us with a trip to Disney.
That's a good surprise.
Yeah. So we flew out on a Saturday on the 28th. Technically, I was still working. There was a pretty large deal that looked like it was going to close and book before Christmas, right? So I'm like, okay, right, looks good. We got the paperwork from the customer. I work in our channel group. It looked like, you know what, this is going to be locked and loaded before Christmas, break, right? It wasn't. So it officially booked on the 30th. So we got to Disney on the 28th. We were supposed to come home on New Year's Day. As happens a lot, my family said, can we just stay one more day? So we stayed one more day. But the deal closed with a little bit of time to spare. So I had a ton of fun, but I'm on my phone checking things. And so that was a little bit of a pain in the ass. But a couple comments about Disney. We're obsessed with the place. We love it.
We are going to have a Disney episode too.
And you and I will have a family trip to Disney.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe we do it after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. So I get it though. It's I think for you and I in our generation, it's definitely more nostalgic because we grew up with some of those characters.
I like going there because there's always something to do.
You're in a world.
It's
right?
good vibes all the time.
But you pay twice as much as any place else. Like
we could have gone.
You got it. You got to just realize that and just let it go.
Yeah, I don't look. I'm like you. You said that the other day. You're like, I don't look. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Just go have fun.
I actually made another comment that I thought was funny. I go, the trip ain't over until they give you the bill. So the one thing I'll notice though is that, like, I don't want to say that Disney lost their fastball, but you always felt like you went there and they did whatever they could to make you happy, right? So you and I, if you know about Disney, they had something called Fast Pass, right? And I think you automatically got that if you were staying at a Disney property. You didn't have to pay for Fast Pass, right?
So Fast Pass was before the Genie Plus and stuff, right?
So there's not even a mention of Genie Plus now.
Not anymore. No, now it's Fast.
Yeah.
Now
Lightning Lane.
It's Lightning Lane and individual.
Right. But I thought it was like if you stayed in the park, like if you stayed in one of their things, or if you got like a Magic Band, you got that, right? Now you have to pay for it.
Right.
So you're paying for it. So now you're a little bit pissed.
Like every day, right?
Yes.
Like when you
every person
on
every
top
day.
of what you pay for your ticket to get in.
Correct.
Right.
Every person every day.
Right.
So I don't know. We had a couple funny incidents where they just didn't seem like they cared.
Not magical.
It wasn't, but it was early on, and so thankfully by the end of the trip, none of that happened. The magic came back, but I'll tell one what I think is a funny story. So my youngest Tyler, right, 20 years old, was the most laid back kid, but sometimes he can get a little bit fired up, right?
Yep.
So first day we're at the Magic Kingdom. What's the new ride that was Splash Mountain? Something like
Tiana?
Tiana, yeah. So we do the lightning lane for Tiana, but it's closed, like it's shut down. And
So when you say the lightning lane,
that's what it's called.
you register, you do it from your phone.
On your phone.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
magical
Right.
experience
Right,
app
right,
or whatever.
Right. It's
So
magical.
right. So it's closed, right? So you're like, okay, we've got this. Like, we can't do the next one. I think it was like we can't do the next one until that was done, and we can't get on it.
Right.
So Cassandra goes to like a guest services guy, and he was probably, I don't know, early 30s, let's say, right? I let her deal with it because she's the best at it. I suck at it. I'm back with the kids, but it's going a long time. I'm like, shouldn't this be a simple exercise? We can't get on the ride. Can you cancel this out and so we can go on another ride, right? And so then Tyler goes over to help, right? So then he's over there, and I don't know what's going on, and he like comes back. So I'll just cut to the chase. He goes over. Cassandra's talking to the guy. The guy wants nothing to do with it. He's not budging. Tyler's like starts talking, and the guy looks and he goes, "Can you just be quiet, please? I'm talking to your mother."
Oof.
So Tyler goes like this, "Hey, what's your name?" The guy goes, "It's JP." He goes, "Okay, JP, I'm going to get you fired." That's what he said. So that's how our magic started.
That's not a way to speak to
No,
someone.
no. So, but again, it got better. And I will tell you this. I asked the question, the most crowded that park will ever be is on New Year's Eve. Because I think you get locals to just go there, right? We decided to go to Epcot. It was jammed. You couldn't move. But you know what? It was such an awesome experience. Because you're there with all these nationalities, I mean, that are actually in the park with you.
Right.
Then you've got all the countries represented. The way they did it was they said like, oh, so-and-so country celebrated 3 hours ago.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then it leads up to the US and Canada. It was all, I have it. I don't know if I want to share it, but I did a video for like 2 minutes. It was completely awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
One last comment. The funny thing was, for some reason, usually Cassandra would take that all in and love it. The kids were loving it. All she wanted to do was take advantage of the fact that everyone was outside. She wanted to go on a ride. So like in the midst of this wonderful moment where all these worlds comes together on the video, Cassandra turns, she goes, "Can we go on a ride, please?" And I'm like, "Sweetie, you got to take this all in." So it's kind of funny. So that's my Disney story. Are we ready to go into the NFL?
Sure.
All right, before we do that, I always forget this, right? Whether you're watching us on YouTube or whether you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, like and subscribe, follow us, right? We could use your support.
Yes.
Right?
Tell a friend.
Exactly. And you can also follow us on social media. So again, whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you're listening in the show notes, we always have links to all those things. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, we're on there. If there's one that you like to be on more than the others, we would love it if you followed us.
Right.
Right? And we appreciate that. And by all means, thoughts, comments, suggestions, guest ideas, right? Just we're starting to feel like there's a little bit of a family there. It might be a small family.
Yeah, small family, but it's family.
But a
nonetheless.
family can grow, and we need to grow with your help. So we would love that. So I think we're ready to go into 2024 NFL season. Regular season's over. Playoffs are starting this weekend. Again, we can talk a little bit about the teams that didn't make it, some of those storylines. One of them is your and my team. And then go into the teams that did make it and maybe make some predictions there.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So I think if we start with the teams that didn't make it, there was a bunch of firings.
Let's say this before. So teams that were expected to make the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too.
And make some noise, like the Jets, where, like the Jets were supposed to be a playoff team. They couldn't have fallen on their faces.
I know.
They did. And it's, whatever. It is what it is. But
I asked you didn't see it yet, but there's a special maybe on Netflix. It's, and there's multiple episodes.
I saw it. I didn't watch it.
Oh, on Aaron Rodgers, right?
Right.
And again, I get it. He probably had a lot to do with it. I don't hate him as much.
I don't hate him. I think he seems like a super douche.
I did. But I'm telling you, see this, There still is something weird about him and his family because in talk to him.
They don't.
I know that's something weird, but there's definitely people in his life that support him and that he supports. And I don't know. I had a little bit of even the biggest people that you think are jerks probably have something.
Like him or not, I don't really love the Jets. I think it's funny that like they got him. I mean, the injury
got rid
was
of. Did he see the reason why Saul is gone, or was that a different reason?
I don't know. All I know is they got him. They got all his receivers from Green Bay. They got was it Devontae Adams? They got They got him back.
Yeah,
everyone's like woohoo.
Yeah, and Lazard.
What did they win 4 games?
Or Lazard was already there, right? So he was coming back to him.
But they got him too, right?
Yep.
But maybe 5 games. Did they win 4 or 5? Did they beat Miami at the end of the season? I forget.
I'm not sure. I don't think they did because I think they walked off the field. Remember, he walked off the field with, what was the other guy that was up in Green Bay? Oh, no, sorry. You know what? The whole thing that was weird about this show is they went back and forth between current day and like you got real confused. So when that was when he left Green Bay. Who was the guy that was like the
Brett Favre?
Running back on the team that he was buddies with on Green Bay?
Maybe
he was a receiver.
Maybe
he was a receiver.
I don't know.
Whatever.
All I know is...
But you're right. They were supposed to make it.
Yeah.
They weren't. Were there any other teams?
Disappointments?
Yeah.
I don't, like, was Jacksonville supposed to be better?
Well, the guy said that we have the best team ever, right?
Did he say that?
I think he did.
And guess who just got fired?
Exactly.
He's gone.
Exactly.
I know.
But was there any other?
I thought Chicago, when they got Williams, they had a lot of talent around them. It seemed like that team was going to make some noise, and they started off strong.
Yeah.
And then they went right in the toilet.
Well, you know who killed them was that miracle ending with the Commanders. And
when the guy was like kind of like yelling at, like, showboating
talk
to the
about
fans.
an embarrassing
and the play was
moment.
going on behind him.
But Jaden Daniels looks legit, don't you think?
Looks really good.
All right, so
He could be like an MVP candidate.
for sure. He's just very slight, so you just wonder about if you're going to take a pounding.
He had an injury this year, which when he was hurt, the team didn't look as good.
No.
You know?
No. But all right, so those are some teams that disappointed. Obviously, well, I don't know. I think we're up to like 6 or 7 firings, right? So the Bears fired their guy. Another interesting thing in the news is that Mike McCarthy asked the Dallas.
I can't believe they were gonna. He still has a job over there anyway.
Well, maybe it's
that team hasn't won a playoff game since like the '90s. I think.
Well, you put
maybe one.
Well, you said a good thing. Like when you tell your owner you want to talk to one of the teams, that pretty much.
I think that's pretty much.
It's like you tell your girlfriend, "Do you mind if I go talk to that girl?"
Let's start an open relationship.
Yes, but for us Patriot fans, that becomes a little bit scarier because is the Dallas coaching job of interest? Is it more interesting or less interesting than the Bears?
You know who would be good as a Dallas coach?
Oh,
Bill Belichick.
I don't think that's going to happen, though, is it?
He's got an out in his contract, like a clause, like a $10 million buyout.
Imagine that. Yeah, he's just waiting for someone to hire him.
He still wants to beat that record.
Of course he does. I mean, who gets that close, So the Bears fire Matt Eberflus. Is that how you say it? They went like a 3-8 start, and they fire him.
Yep. New Orleans, maybe?
Oh, you thought they'd be better?
No. Did they fire their coach?
They did, too. Yeah, they did, too. Dennis Allen, Jacksonville Jaguars. Mm-hmm. Fired Doug Peterson.
The Jets, Salah, right?
Yeah, earlier on in the season, though. I think that was, I think
I'm just saying these are.
I was surprised. They fired him after 5 games.
I don't know, but it was at least during the season.
Yeah. And then what we just found out today is that Antonio Pierce was fired from Las Vegas. And then
we forgot Gerard.
No,
Mayo.
I know, but I wanted to get all that out of the way.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So yeah, Gerard Mayo. Do you think that was fair?
I think he was in a no-win situation there, but he didn't do well even.
They never should have hired him.
No, he wasn't ready to coach. It was clear, but he didn't know how to run an organization. But I think that the Crafts, Bill Belichick ran that team from top to bottom, and he ran it like bare bones because he had a lot of control. I think they thought they were going to just pluck him out and plug him in, and it was going to be okay, and it wasn't.
And he had first-time offensive coordinator, first time
experience,
everything.
no experience there at all. But he didn't do well in like the press. He didn't do well like in game. He didn't do well. I mean, he flip-flopped a lot.
Yep.
So he really, it's unfortunate. I mean, I liked him as a player. Seems like a really nice guy.
Yep.
I think he was maybe a couple of years. He wasn't even a coordinator.
Does he have a future based on what happened?
I mean, it's not a good look right now, but maybe he'll hook on as a something. Like I said, he wasn't even a coordinator.
If Vrabel gets hired, does he say you want to stick around, be a linebacker?
No, you don't want him sacking around there. You don't want that.
But here's an interesting. This is a very interesting I don't know, a concept idea that you came up with, right? So obviously we're local, like New England's local to us. So we're hearing all the different theories, right? And so one of the theories of the defending Gerard was it was a no-win situation. You had, horrible offensive line, brand new coaches. You had nothing but the promise of a good quarterback, right?
We didn't even know that.
Right. And they're like, so he had 4 wins. Do you know some of the greatest coaches of all time, their first season, they had 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, right?
Yeah.
But you bring up a very good point, which is last year, which team sucked? What did they do? And they're in the playoffs now.
Yeah, Washington had the same record as the Patriots. They hired a new GM. We're losing. I mean, Mayo was not a good coach. Mm-hmm. Wolf completely whiffed on the draft and free agency last year. So Washington
getting May was anyone's going to do that.
Right.
He's the best guy on the board at 3.
They were lucky.
Yeah.
But Washington had the pick before us where you could flip flop those 2 quarterbacks. They're both great. I mean, Daniels had a great year, but they hired a new GM and they hit on 4 or 5 draft picks, and then they hit on free
I don't
agency.
even know who was their GM, anyone that had proven themselves?
I don't know the name, but I know they hired a new GM.
Yep.
And then their coach knew what he was doing. So and then they got a quarterback. So they went from 4 wins to 10 or 11 wins.
And they're in the playoffs.
And I mean, like I said, Jaden, you need the quarterback, obviously. But, he had maybe 10 new players to come into his organization. And we got our second pick didn't even get on the field.
Do you know what my boys tell me all the time? Why didn't we get Ladd McConkey?
They traded away from him. There's another team. So the Chargers hired a new coach who knew how to run an organization, Harbaugh. He had the quarterback. He gutted his team. He hit on a bunch of drafts. He hit on a bunch of free agents. They're in the playoffs.
There you go.
So it's super important that you don't just I got a gut feeling about this guy, 5 years ago when I was in Israel. And let's make him the coach. You just can't do that.
Another theory that I heard, which is interesting, is that he was under contract. So you're paying Belichick's contract. He's not on the team.
Yeah.
So if you make Mayo head coach, you're paying him that money. So you're not. There's no wasted money.
Yeah. Well, guess what wasted money does? My son went to the last 2 games.
Oh, I was going to ask you. Was everyone hoping that they would lose?
Yeah, they were freaking out. Yeah, but there were bags on heads.
Are they booing when they scored?
Yeah, but the week before they were doing the fire Mayo chants, which kind of sucked for him, and it wasn't a good look. But
yeah,
put that aside, the stadium wasn't full. There's a lot of empty seats.
That's what Kraft cares about.
Right. And I mean, they fired him right after the game. And I haven't heard anybody say this. You might not agree with me, but
oh, no. Yeah,
it was such a bad look to lose that game. And there was such bad failings around that team. I think they're like, all right, let's fire him now. Well, everyone will forget that we lost.
Well, there's a lot of theories, and I don't know if we'll ever know what really happened. But could it be that, so let's say Vrabel is the heir apparent, right?
Right.
The one thing that he did, my son told me, right? Your son told you, is that he changed one of his social media things to put the Patriots thing, right? Yeah. So, if someone knows that's what's going to happen, then Gerard knows that's going to happen. So, did he say, you know what? If they're going to fire me, screw this. I'm going to screw them over. Now, the other thing is, I was listening to local radio station, Felger in Mass, and I like Felger sometimes, and he said, listen. All right. Would it be better to get the first pick than the 4th? Absolutely. Way more capital. But don't say it's over now just because you have the 4th pick.
Listen, I just said to Tyler, I'd trade the first pick in Mayo for a new coach in the 4th pick.
Right.
A new coach.
Right.
So if that's not that was going to happen anyway. But, the 4th pick is fine. Like I said, the Chargers they got, what did he get? Last year, they got an offensive tackle with the maybe 5th, 6th, or 7th pick, and they're in the playoffs.
God knows we need the offense,
right?
Offensive line. Well, but I'm going to flip flop, right? The thing that does suck though is that when you get the first pick, you get the first pick in every other round too.
Right, but they're high enough. Look, you need someone to draft. The Patriots haven't drafted well in 5 years or more. So
the 3 teams ahead of them, 2 of them need quarterbacks. What's the team that's going to get? What's the guy's name? Travis Hunter.
Yeah. Well, listen. Here's the deal, and this is what I said to my son the other day.
You can't play on both sides?
No, remember last year's draft? There were 3 quarterbacks, and the other quarterbacks weren't supposed to go to the second round. And 6 quarterbacks were drafted in the first 12 picks. Yeah. So maybe like that kid from like yours or someone like that.
I don't
Everybody
even
falls
know.
in love with somebody.
I know.
And maybe someone else gets there. So you never know. Look,
Don't let other people
I
know.
like Travis Hunter. He's awesome, but I think
Yeah.
he's going to be a cornerback.
Still, though, you get him and Gonzo.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
But I think their value in having that first pick was more like to trade out
And get
maybe
multiple.
get like a first round pick next year or maybe a couple of second rounders. They need players. Their whole team stinks.
But so regardless, that's management's problem for letting that happen. You got to find a way to lose that game.
But you have to fix it. And again, you can fix it with free agency. They have a ton of money. Just like I said, when you can't be like, oh, they have so long to go. It's going to be. Just look at Washington. Look at the Chargers.
Yeah.
They both turned their franchises around in a year. So it can happen.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but like Washington forever would like, it was Snyder. Does he still own it or did he have to sell?
No, he sold it.
Okay.
I don't know if he had to sell it, but he sold it.
But they just always seem to be, like back in the heydays, a different thing, like in the 80s,
They were a
whatever.
joke.
They were a joke.
Yeah.
And then they just turned it around, you know?
So, I mean, they've had some good picks over the years because they stink.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, the Patriots never really had high picks.
No.
So they might have to, but I'm just saying, whatever they had for a team, they won 4 games.
Yeah.
You know, the same as the Patriots.
So let me ask you this. And I know we're sticking on the Patriots, but again, I think it is a story now.
It's a big story, you know, in the league.
Right.
He
And-
got fired right after the game. That doesn't happen a lot.
No.
Like, right after. I was shocked.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So with Vegas coming out, firing their coach, the interesting storyline there is Tom Brady's an owner.
Right.
Played with Vrabel. I'm assuming they're buddies. Does he do like a full court press to get him to think about Vegas? Now,
Maybe.
you're right. They don't have a great
They
quarterback.
they have Spencer Rattler.
Yeah,
So, I mean, he's not there. And again, last year, we didn't know what Drake May was. Right? So,
Yeah.
you know, I think they interviewed
And now we have a
maybe
good backup, too.
How many coordinators did they interview last year for the Patriots? They said 9. So, like,
Right, it was
Alex
just-
Van Pelt was like the last guy. Nobody wanted to come here. They had no receivers. They have nothing.
Yep.
You know, so
But will Kraft spend the money?
Kraft needs to do whatever he can right now, and I think he knows it.
I hope so.
I think he knows this team's on a
Why wouldn't it have been the
thread.
same thing last year? Why wouldn't you know that last year?
Because he thought he had the upcoming coach that everybody wanted. I don't know. He had some like notion that everybody wanted Mayo, and I don't know if I heard from. I was listening to a podcast. I don't know, it was like Tommy Curran or somebody. They were saying Mayo's agent like put something out there that everybody wants him. You know, and like Kraft's like, well, we didn't want to have him get signed away, so we blah, blah, blah.
Seriously?
He says it in this.
That's a brilliant move.
In that press conference, he says it.
Wow.
You know,
So one last question about our beloved Patriots. Would you rather have Vrabel or Ben Johnson?
I mean, I'd go for the stability right now, just because they need like Ben Johnson again doesn't really have experience.
When's the last time we had an offensive head coach? We
I don't
haven't.
know, but you need someone to work with the young quarterback,
Right.
like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Like I think that team is so good because of him. Mm-hmm. You know, now they have a defense which sucks, but they have a good defense
Right.
now. It's probably better than
I know.
what their offense.
That was
is
the
doing.
one thing that we had hoped for, right?
But you're right. I would love to see Ben Johnson here, and you know something? It's weird. Like he wants to come here. They say,
right.
you know.
Well,
who knows?
Vrabel's coming in on Thursday, and for the people that want him, they basically say, you don't let him leave the building if you want him.
Right.
Right. So
That's what we said about like a lot of free agents when they come here. What was the guy that went to the?
yeah,
Jesus,
the receiver from San Francisco.
Yeah. Like, don't let him leave the building. Well, he left the building.
Yeah, he left
and then
the
he went
building.
somewhere else.
Yeah, and he might have used us to get more money, right? One last thing before we talk about the Super Bowl contenders. Do you think one of the teams that didn't make it this year is poised to make it next year? Other than the Patriots, which we would love.
Didn't make
the playoffs, but they look like they're heading in the right direction, and maybe they will.
Well, I mean, Cincinnati should be in the playoffs.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm
How the F did we beat them?
they start off slow usually. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what they say. But that team, Joe Burrow, is like an MVP candidate right now.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that kid's on the sidelines. And I don't think anybody want to play him.
Is that Cincinnati being Cincinnati? You know how like that franchise is always just
they suck.
Yeah.
And their defense sucks. And that kid threw like 40-something hundred yards and how many touchdowns. And like, we watch some of those games and they're really entertaining to watch, but they're like 40-something. He loses.
What were the teams that just barely missed? Was like Seattle there or no? That was a surprise team.
I'm not sure.
Wasn't it?
All I know is I wanted Cincinnati to get in because I felt like if they were the last seed and they had to play Kansas City, I would have loved to see that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I are on the same page, and I think everyone but people on the bandwagon are from Kansas City. We just don't want to see him three-peat. And
No.
I get it. I know when we were, when the Patriots were winning, I get it. You hated us, but
I don't hate them. I respect Patrick Mahomes. He's a good quarterback. I don't need to see it. It's like I don't like watching games wanting people to lose. It's no fun because then they win and it's like,
I don't know.
shit.
I enjoy that.
No, I don't like it. I want to see I'd rather see like you can get into whatever games are being played, but
Right.
It's like when you're watching fantasy football and the guy you're playing has like one guy and you're like, I don't even want to watch the game because he only needs like 13 points. So that's like how many catches and how many yards.
By the way, as a little aside, congratulations, Chris Costas, for winning the Patriot Friends and Family League. Not because we're Patriot fans, but because our softball team is named the Patriots. Right. And just suffice it to say,
the two best teams played in the finals.
well, I mean, I don't want to come up with excuses, right? But he's got Hurts. Hurts gets hurt. He's got Purdy as his backup. So all he can do is
had a great year.
All he can do is put in Purdy. Purdy fucking has the game of his life.
I know.
And Kittle, he's got whatever. I don't want to get to it.
I know.
All right, whatever.
Well,
he won. I will tell you this though.
won.
Yeah, we're gonna go to sleeper next year. I already set it up. No, listen. We're gonna do it, and I'll tell you why. So you know how this year there was no option like we did at CBS Sports to have a balance between number of points scored and wins and losses, because there's nothing worse than just.
I think we should have a vote on it.
No. What
do you mean no?
No. What do you want to do? ESPN again?
What are you, Trump?
I am. Do you want to do ESPN again?
I don't know, but I think we should vote on before we change.
No.
Why?
Because I don't know. You and I can debate it.
Our kids like ESPN.
You and I can debate it. No, but here's the deal. Sleeper, go look at it. Everyone loves it. They have this thing where you can set it up so that
Who has more fans, Sleeper or Mack G Show?
Sleeper. So no, but get this. They have a thing where every game.
We're not going to debate this. We'll talk about it later.
No, but just want to say one thing though, because I like this. Every game, you have a head-to-head matchup. Traditional.
I know how it works.
No, what do you mean? What's the other thing?
You're going to talk about the power rankings.
No,
and it's fine.
No. So it's the same idea, but you play one game against an opponent. The other game is against the mean of how many people
I don't
score.
want to play a game against.
So
the
that
mean.
means if you score a ton of
I don't
points
like it.
and you win, you're 2-0.
I don't like it.
It's wrong. Well, of course you.
I don't want to play a game against the mean.
Because shouldn't you get benefit because you scored a lot of points, not because you just had bad luck and you always went against the guy
You
that
can
did
say
it?
whatever you want. The two best teams played each other,
But
so it worked out this year.
But it could have been bad.
I'm not going to listen.
It could have been. All right,
We're gonna
on to the thing. I already set up sleeper.
We're gonna vote.
Ricky, I already set up sleeper. So playoff teams.
Yes.
Okay, so in the AFC, you got the Chiefs with a bye,
Yes.
and then because the Lions beat Minnesota.
What happened to Minnesota? They didn't show up in that game, huh? It was supposed to be like the best game. It's like,
Did
woo-hoo.
Darnold become the old, like, did the carriage turn into a pumpkin
That was
again?
supposed to be like such a great game, and it was like, what happened?
And where did they play?
I don't know.
Detroit?
I forgot.
That helps, right?
You don't show up?
Yeah. You know what I was thinking? That division, is Green Bay the only team that has an outdoor stadium? Because you got, right? Is Minnesota?
Detroit, Minnesota.
Right? And what's the fourth?
Tampa?
Well, they're always sunny,
Yeah.
right? Is that really it?
I think so, right?
That's another tricky team, Tampa.
Yeah.
Could they surprise someone?
I like him too.
Baker
the
Mayfield's been.
quarterback.
Did you know that Belichick wanted him for the
Yeah.
Pats?
Yeah.
That might have been interesting. It won't
But they
happen.
wanted Mac Jones. They made him take Mac Jones.
Yay! Who's now in his hometown playing?
How'd Bailey Zappi do the other day? I guess
No, I didn't even watch.
He threw like a pick six.
Well, remember,
and
I was on vacation, so I wasn't really watching. But it's funny. My boys were like keeping me updated on fantasy, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I just want to enjoy my time.
No,
I don't.
That's
Right?
what I'm telling you. Yeah, I know.
So you got Lions with a bye, Chiefs with a bye. The games this weekend, AFC, you have number 2 Bills against number 7 Broncos. We assume the Bills are going to win,
Go Bills.
right? You've got the number 3 Ravens against the number 6 Steelers.
That's the game I really want to watch.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun game.
And then you've got...
Hey, can I say stop for a second?
Yep.
I don't know, but like I kind of heard that, what's his name's kind of on the block a little bit.
Who?
Their coach, the Steelers.
Really?
I don't know. Someone said
He's been in the league longer than
I know,
most.
It doesn't make sense to me. I just heard it. They were talking about it on the radio. Like if someone should either go after him or something. Like
So when Big Ben won the Super Bowl, he was the coach, right?
What's his name again? I'm
Ben
losing it.
Roethlisberger.
No, the coach.
Oh,
It's,
Tomlin. Mike Tomlin.
He's a really good coach.
He is.
I don't know if they were talking about, maybe we, and I was like, well, who said
Oh, I would love.
he'd be a great coach?
Oh my God, he would. He knows.
They don't just run through coaches
and he knows the
either.
AFC, right?
I know.
Like big time.
But I don't think they want to get rid of him. It was just weird. Like I don't know if he's had enough there. Someone said something. I don't know what it was.
Well, that's intriguing.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen.
Well,
they were talking about trading for him, and they're like, you don't have the luxury of trading any picks because you don't have a ton.
You know what the other thing I heard today too, which is like, oh my God, again, going back to the Patriots, but we had arguably the greatest quarterback of all time and arguably one of the best coaches of all time. And when they left the team, we got nothing for them.
Yeah, well, that was they were talking about it on the radio today.
Nothing.
But that's part of what Kraft did when he butt in with that situation. Brady was supposed to have a franchise tag, and that's what Belichick wanted. And Kraft said, no, he's like a son to me.
So he couldn't keep him.
So look, but if you're going to lose him, you get, if you franchise him, you have to get draft picks.
Yeah.
Or he stays. They got nothing. And that was part of him butting in. I heard that today. They were talking about it.
It was tough. So with the AFC, we think Bills beat Broncos, Ravens, Steelers, pick 'em, and then Texans, Chargers. I was amazed that the Texans made it because I had C.J. Stroud as my fantasy football.
He had a rough year. I didn't think.
It was not a good year.
They were supposed to be like a top tier playoff team, and I think the Chargers are going to roll them.
Okay, so if the Chargers roll them, they're the number 5 seed, right?
Yep.
If the Ravens win, then the Chiefs play. I'm just trying to think: is there a team that can upset the Chiefs in the second round?
I think the Chargers could.
You think?
I mean, I think. You're talking about in the second round. The only teams that can play them in the second round are like the Broncos, but they're not going to be. Well, they're not going to beat the Bills. Yeah, but Steelers could. Steelers could win. Steelers could make some ways. You're right though. They do have to go to Arrowhead, which is tough.
I know
on the road. But any of these teams, like the Chiefs, have won 13 or plus by one score. All their
I was crazy. I was looking through all the. I'm like 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points.
Games. And not
only
against
Carolina?
They're not just close games. They're like hitting goalposts, blocking field goals.
Bad teams.
Yeah, but
they know when to play.
They're getting calls. Like there's a lot of stuff happening in those one.
Yeah. All right. So we'll stop there in terms of the AFC teams. NFC teams, again, we got the Lions with a bye. You got the number 2 Eagles against the number 7 Packers. That could be an interesting game.
Yeah, I like the Packers.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that could be an upset.
Don't forget what happened to the Eagles last year.
Well, is
forgot to show up.
Is Hurts still hurt?
I don't know, but they sucked. Yeah. I thought they should have fired the coach last year, Sirianni. I was like, how do you have this team? They were like the 1 or 2 seed.
That guy's got such an attitude, too.
I think did the Packers beat them? Was this a rematch of that last year?
I don't know, but Jordan Love's kind of hurt, right?
I don't know if the Packers beat Dallas or Philly. But but Dallas was another team that doesn't show up. You talk about a team, who should make it?
Yeah.
They suck anyway. They can make the playoffs all they want.
Is Dak still the guy? He's still the guy, right?
He's.
I know. No, what I'm saying, like he'll be healthy next year, and he's the guy.
Yeah,
for Dallas.
They're going to win 10 or 11 games.
CeeDee Lamb's good. Yeah, I would. I mean, Jerry Jones must be so nuts to fucking play.
Did you watch Landman?
No, I haven't.
He's in it. He had a really good.
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones is in Landman. Yeah, he had a pretty cool
Well, that's his character.
I know, but it was emotional. It was good. He did a really good job.
It's just one season of Landman, right?
Yeah, it's good.
You like it?
We're gonna have a show.
Does Sheridan show up in it as a stud like he always does?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I know what he looks like now because he was in.
But you know what I'm saying? He always has a little character role where he plays
He's in good shape. I mean, when I saw him on the other thing, he's all likes himself and stuff.
I just love. There's no humility there. I don't.
Tell you what, the Lioness I like too. We're not going to get into shows, but
we're not going to get into shows.
He's got some good shows.
But can we just say Severance right now? And again, we'll cover it. Is a freaking unbelievable.
It's great,
right?
My friend Joe Vish turned me on to it. I wouldn't watch it for like
tremendous.
A year, and I finally watched it, and I was like, oh shit, it's pretty good.
It is good, and it's like it's kind of like you're kind of going, and at the very end of season 1, it's like blows up.
Yeah, it's good,
right? Like really cool stuff. All right, so going back, so we got number 2 Eagles against number 7 Packers. You got the number.
Who are you picking there?
I hope Packers.
Because I think the Eagles could be in the Super Bowl.
They could,
like if they're right.
If Saquon's on and Hurts is on, absolutely. We got Buccaneers, number 3 Buccaneers, which I'm a little bit amazed by that. They're the number 3 seed. I know. Buccaneers against the Commanders. That'll be an interesting game.
I would love to see Washington win that game.
It would be
watch
awesome.
the kid play, but I don't know.
But then they would theoretically, if the Packers win, they would play the Lions, and that's another good game.
Yeah, that's a good mix of good.
Oh, yeah.
good teams. You know,
And then Rams Vikings number 4 against number 5 Vikings.
we're not looking at anything.
Wait, I know. But listen, the Vikings went from potentially being the number 1 seed to being the number 5 seed,
Well, they lost their division,
and then you go down
so you have
because
division winners go ahead of you.
Yeah, but it's still the number 1 seed, still the most wins, right?
But they won their division, so they
1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3. So what other team had a same record as the Vikings?
Eagles
I don't know.
maybe. It has to be right.
Maybe.
Oh no, they were a division winner.
I don't know. You think
I got to look at that.
We should know this, right?
Did you ever see
We're gonna do an NFL edition.
Did you
I don't
see
know
the-
anything about
Did
it.
you see the Instagram thing when it was like
I haven't watched.
It was Starship Troopers. You ever see the movie Starship
Yeah.
Troopers?
Well,
they're
yeah.
like, I did my part, and it was the Lions.
Oh, yeah,
and it was like I did my part.
I effed up.
And the guy for the Bears goes, I didn't do shit.
No, that's the guy. He's got his own like 15-minute.
Yeah.
I think you should leave or something like that. That guy.
It was funny.
Oh,
yeah.
he's
I
hilarious.
sent that to you.
Yeah.
I didn't do
No, you did.
shit.
No, that was perfect. That was perfect. All right, so those are the teams, right? We think that the contenders are the Chiefs, the Lions, the Vikings, the Eagles, the Bills, and the.
So pretty much every.
What? How many is there? There's. Well, how many seeds?
7,
14?
14. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was 6.
And I'm just faffing with
But
you.
I put Ravens down there, but you're thinking the Steelers might do it. No?
I don't think the Steelers are going to do it. I
No?
said I'd like to watch that game.
Yeah.
I think that, listen, I love Lamar Jackson. He's not a playoff
It just something
quarterback.
happens
He
at
just-
the end.
for some reason, he's like good. If you can contain him, he's not a good pocket passer, in my opinion.
Yep.
And last year, he was an MVP last year. He had a chance to win the game, and he just
Well,
couldn't
and
do it.
he's got an unbelievable running back. He's got a great tight end, right? Like he's got a lot of
No, he does,
weapons.
and I really like Harbaugh as a coach.
Yep.
They have a lot of stuff going for them. I think you need a quarterback, and I think that he tends to not show up in
That's
big
tough
playoff games
because he is such a talent, you know.
Yeah, but again,
All
my
right, so
opinion.
correct me if I'm wrong. First round, exciting games to watch: Steelers, Ravens.
I think the whole NFC lineup
Every one of those.
I can't wait to watch all of
Yeah,
them.
those are going to be good.
I want to watch Buffalo because, again, I'm going to be a Josh Allen fan, and he's another guy I would like to see. He puts the team on his back. Let's see if he can do it in the playoffs. He's got to step it
Yeah,
up.
and he's a great story, right? Like he was a kid in college where he
No
couldn't
offers.
he couldn't get anything, and
Yep. He went to JUCO,
yeah,
right?
and then Wyoming after that, right?
Yeah, but I like him.
That's
He's
a good
tough.
story.
Yeah.
He seems like a nice guy.
Yep.
So let me ask you something. Can anyone stop the Chiefs from repeating? We think the answer is yes, right? Who has the best chance to beat them? And it's either going to be in probably the AFC Championship game or in the Super Bowl. The Bills already beat them
Right. The Bills did beat them. I think,
in Buffalo.
but I think like the Chiefs got better offensively a little
Mm-hmm.
bit at the end of the year. I think their defense kept them in a lot of games.
Well, I mean, and also like the rich get richer. Who was the freaking Hopkins?
Yeah, they got DeAndre
Oh.
Hopkins.
Like, I guess when you got an
They got
attractive
Juju
team,
Schuster back. They got him, but I think they're going to be a little bit better offensively. They're going to be tough to beat with that defense.
yeah.
You know,
And the Bills don't have a defense, do they?
no.
Right? That's their problem.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots
Like, they gotta win in a
played them.
shootout.
They weren't like I think they looked by the Patriots, but that was a close game for a while, and that shouldn't happen.
And then they
Yeah.
lost on purpose.
Oh yeah,
I think to screw
Oh yeah,
us.
no, they were laughing on the sidelines.
Right.
They were actually. It looked like they were trying to throw picks. It looked. They were aiming at our defensive.
But here's the
backs.
problem, right? So it's really on the coaches in a situation like that. Because if you're an NFL player, do you really know where you're going to be next year?
No,
There's
you
only a few.
have to- if
You
you
got
wanna-
to. You got to put good stuff on film.
The Patriots had to run the ball.
Yeah.
Just run it up
yeah.
the middle.
Don't let
run it up the middle. They're letting this
freakish
kid-
athlete
Yeah.
look good.
And what does he want to do? Any athlete wants to put
Yeah,
film,
succeed.
like good
Yeah.
film out there for people to see because they want to play. They're not going to just roll over.
But I didn't watch a second of it.
Who cares?
My kids were telling me the
Yeah.
score, and I'm like, they're going to screw this up. Right?
Oh, no, I knew it. I did my little prediction at the beginning. I was like, the Patriots are going to show why they're the Patriots and blow it. Trust me. And they did it.
We can't win the games we're supposed to win, and we can't lose the games we're supposed to lose.
I think they lost 7 in a row up to that point. But Buffalo literally just kept taking players out.
Again, I didn't ever watch it. I don't even. Should I watch it? Is it?
I watched the whole game. It was hilarious. You know,
And your son was there.
Their kicker missed an extra point like on purpose. You know, it was just. I mean, we fumbled the ball. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but they almost didn't even want to score then. Like they didn't want to score. Like we could have given.
That is
them
a funny
ball.
concept of like two teams just trying to like.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you this question, and I'll try to answer it too. Two things: Who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl?
Okay.
And then who do you think is going to win?
Okay.
So answer that first.
I'll say Detroit and Kansas City.
Okay, and who do you think wins? Three-peat?
I'll say Detroit.
Okay. I'm going to say, who do I think? I think Detroit and the Bills.
That's
and
who you think?
I think is going to be there, and I want the Lions to win.
Okay.
I think you know, Josh and the Bills have many chances.
So I want the Bills and
Well,
Detroit.
yeah, so what do you want?
I want Detroit and Buffalo.
And you want Buffalo to win.
And I want Buffalo, but if either team wins, I'd be happy because I like the whole Detroit story is cool.
Yep.
You know, like it's like Goff was a cast off.
Yep.
And you know that'd be great for him. And so I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
I can't say the Chiefs are going to win, so I picked. Detroit.
Yeah, it's tough to say it.
I mean,
but here's the thing: I think my story for who do I want and who do I think is the same. Yeah. I want it to be the Bills and the Lions, and I want the Lions to win. So we'll see if that means none of it's going to happen.
But I know. Again, we're going to watch Kansas City. Like, you know, they'll be losing, and then there'll be like a holding call at the end zone.
Don't get me started.
They'll get a first and goal at the 1 with no time left to win the game.
Like
That'll
that guy who
twice.
posts uses AI to have the voices, and then you know the highly exalted, you know, whatever penalty against him. I don't know. All right, so I think that's it. You know, somewhat of a short episode. We'll see what really happens. You know, this will be released on Thursday. So if you listen to this on Thursday, 2 days later, you'll see if any of this stuff plays out.
Yep.
One more reminder, you know, like and subscribe.
Yes.
Follow us on social media. Support us. Give us ideas. All that stuff. I think we talked about next episode maybe being kind of a looking backwards year in review, life, the world, and then looking forward, right? Maybe. We got some other things. We got, you know, streaming shows that we like, dogs.
By the time we get to that show, there's going to be new streaming shows.
No, so we talked about pets, right? Like we love dogs.
Yes.
There's a lot of good info there. So these are what we're thinking about. So let's hear from you, right? If there's one of those that, you know, you think makes the most sense.
I still like cooking. We might have to get something going.
Okay.
We got to get something brewing.
All right. But that's more of an on-site thing, right? We can't really talk about cooking.
We can talk about it a little bit.
But you want to be in a kitchen. Did I tell you I made pasta for the first time in a while, a couple weeks ago?
You make it.
Yeah, no, but I hadn't done that or pizza in a long time, and I did.
Cool.
It was pretty good. You know? The thing is, you make all the pasta and you feel like, oh my God, I did a great job. And then it's like, I got to do a sauce.
Yeah.
Right? And then all of a sudden that could be a whole thing. Because you mess up the sauce, doesn't matter how good the freaking pasta is.
I make a gravy. It takes a couple hours.
I knew you were going to say the gravy.
But it takes, you're supposed, you know, it takes time. You got to make meatballs.
But I like like throw a little, you know.
You could do a quick.
I want a cheese in there, maybe some mushroom, you know, that kind of stuff.
I keep mushrooms out of my shit.
You don't like mushrooms?
Not really.
My father-in-law didn't like mushrooms.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like them, but maybe throw on a grill or something like that.
I like mushrooms.
Yeah. Well, that's why you put them in.
That's exactly why. So that about covers it.
Yes.
Anything else before you bid us adieu?
No, but we'll see you.